You want the moon? Just say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down.
Look at the stars. The great kings of the past look down on us from those stars. So whenever you feel alone, just remember that those kings will always be there to guide you.
I don't think it is very useful to speculate on what God might or might not be able to do. Rather, we should examine what he actually does with the universe we live in.
We are all explorers, driven to know what's over the horizon. The most profound discoveries are not necessarily beyond that next star. They're within us, woven into the threads that bind us.
Good morning. Happy Monday. Happy Moon Day. I'm so grateful you're joining me this morning. So full disclosure, I'm not actually live right now. This is pre-recorded because I'm going to a concert on Sunday night, but I wanted to put this out live to you because I've really been loving the community you guys are creating in the chat. So if you're seeing this, if you're logging on, still talk to each other in the chat, talk about the energy. I might even pop into the chat as well if I can to answer some of your questions. But I feel like on a Monday morning, sometimes we just need that guidance, and it's a nice time to check in with what's going on with the planets, take a look at the week ahead. So that's what I'm here to do with you this morning. First of all, how is everybody feeling after Friday night's solar eclipse? Let me know in the comments, talk it out in the comments. It was definitely an intense energy that we were dealing with, and you might have had some breakthrough moments, some breakthrough realizations, or this Monday could just look like a nice clean slate after eclipse season, after the solar eclipse. And the energy of today is definitely an energy of transformation. So if you did get those realizations or intuitive hits around the solar eclipse, you might be feeling like you're ready to take action in your transformation. And that is because, we'll pull up the chart here, Mars and Pluto are forming a sextile with one another. Let's just talk about these two planets first, Mars and Pluto. They're both, I think it's safe to say, the most intense planets in the solar system, the energy they're associated with. Mars is that warrior energy. It's our motivation, it's our stamina, it's our drive, it's that animal instinct. And it can be a little bit aggressive. It likes movement, it likes action. Pluto, the farthest planet, or now body, you can call it a planet if you want to. Pluto is the farthest body in our solar system, and it's the shadowy planet. It brings an energy of death and rebirth, inviting us to look into those deep, dark places of ourself. Mars is more of an external energy. It wants to take action and do things, while Pluto is a little bit more introspective when it comes to change and transformation. So when these two planets are supporting each other, which is exact at 3 in the morning, you might be waking up feeling this energy. You can see Mars is in Scorpio, still 25 degrees, and Pluto is in Capricorn at 25 degrees right over here. So this is a sextile, a 60-degree angle. It's a supportive angle, and it does require some action to fully see the benefits. This could really make it feel like you are ready to take action on your transformation. Your deepest desires and motivations will fuel that transformation. You might have experienced the closing of a chapter with the solar eclipse, and now you're ready to jump into the next chapter. This could also bring a change of course in the path you're on towards your goals, towards your highest self. So you might have experienced a shift with the solar eclipse, and now you're ready to start embarking on this new path. So this transit will really give us the drive and the energy to fuel our transformation. The one word of caution I will say about this is that Mars energy can be a little bit impulsive. So don't make any rash decisions today about your transformation. You don't have to have it all figured out today or know the destination today, know what's coming next. Even baby steps can be really beneficial. Start leaning into the transformation you want to see. Start heading the direction you want to go. These two planets can really help us make that change, make that shift, but don't necessarily expect to see results all at once. Something else I'll point out that my friend Court, who I've had on the show before, she was talking about this on Instagram, and I think it's really interesting. So those of us with Pluto in Scorpio, which is a lot of people, a lot of millennials, a lot of older Gen Zs. So it's good to look at your chart and see if you have Pluto in Scorpio and where it's at. But take a look down here. You can imagine, for example, my Pluto, I believe, is at 23 degrees Scorpio or something like that. So, and Pluto moves very, very slowly. So our whole generation has Pluto in Scorpio because it takes 250 years, our time, to make its way around the sun. So it's interesting because Mars right now is transiting over many of our Pluto placements. Stay with me here. I know this is a little bit more convoluted. It's not something we talk about very often. But for those of you who have Pluto in the back half of Scorpio, or really in Scorpio at all, maybe the beginning of Sagittarius as well, Mars transiting over our natal Pluto can really activate our own personal transformation. So Mars is that planet of action. It brings energy to whatever it touches. It wants to see movement. So when we have Mars transiting over our natal Pluto, we can really start to see, like I said, our own transformation being activated. So that's an energy to pay attention to as well. But all of us will be feeling this sextile, this support between Mars and Pluto, not just at 3 a.m. when it goes exact, but as we'll talk about in a few minutes, the moon connects with both of these planets around 8 o'clock tonight. So this energy is really going to dominate the day. Let's get into what's going on with the moon as well, and hang around with me because this isn't something I've done before, but I think I'm going to start on Mondays, giving you like a little preview, a little temperature check of the energy of the week, just so you can be prepared for what's to come. So Mars sextile Pluto is the only major transit we're talking about today as far as the planets go. The moon is in Capricorn. The moon moved into Capricorn yesterday, Sunday. So you might have started to feel that energy of preparation for the week ahead. Capricorn likes to have a stable foundation. It needs to be prepared to feel secure. So as many of us do on Sundays, you might have been in the energy of preparation. As the waxing crescent moon continues to move through Capricorn today, we'll be in that preparative energy. And this could look like preparing for the long term. So maybe preparing for the holiday season, getting some Christmas shopping out of the way, preparing for whatever plans you have coming up in the next couple weeks, or even preparing more long term for 2022. And as we have this energy of transformation, it can feel like we need to act on whatever changes we are feeling right now. That can be a really fast-paced energy between Mars and Pluto, these intense planets. The Capricorn moon asks us to slow down. It's all about being slow and steady, making sure there's that stability before you move forward. So that's kind of a nice dynamic we have going on today, because it might feel like, yes, I'm ready to take on the week. I'm ready to implement all the things I learned over the solar eclipse or over the weekend. But the Capricorn moon reminds us, okay, we've got time. We don't have to do everything at once. So by 11:30 today, the moon forms a sextile to Neptune, a supportive angle. Let's jump ahead and take a look at that. And we just talked about a sextile between Mars and Pluto. same angle between the moon and Neptune. So you can see it here, the moon at 20 degrees in Capricorn, forming this 60-degree angle to Neptune in Pisces. And we've been talking a ton about Neptune since it went direct last week. This energy could have you daydreaming a little bit, especially daydreaming about those long-term plans with the moon in Capricorn. You might find your subconscious drifting off to what you want your life to look like in a year, 5 years, 10 years, who knows. Also, our sensitivity is heightened when the moon connects with Neptune. So this can make us feel a little bit more emotionally sensitive, but at the same time, it can also help us have more compassion towards others and their feelings. This can also help us infuse creativity and imagination into our work, into forming those long-term plans. So take advantage of this dreamy energy. We've been feeling Neptune's energy a lot over the past week. Neptune's been making a lot of connections to other planets as well. And the moon forming this sextile to Neptune allows us to use that creativity, to use that imagination. And we've talked about a sextile requiring a little bit of action to fully take advantage of the energy. So if you are making plans today or you're getting work done, whatever helps you feel stable under the Capricorn moon, just ask yourself, how can I make this a little bit more fun and creative and imaginative while I'm doing this? This could even look like taking a little break to do some art, or even, when you're making that list, doodling on the side of the list, just something creative, something that uses your imagination to infuse that energy into whatever practical tasks you're doing, because the Capricorn moon really loves getting things done and looking through things through a practical lens. All right. So by 4:30 this afternoon, this is another major transit today, even though it doesn't necessarily involve two major planets. The moon is forming a conjunction with both Venus and Pluto today. So first, it meets up with Venus around 4:30 in the afternoon Pacific time. You can see that here. The moon at 23 degrees in Capricorn, meeting up with Venus in Capricorn. And while Venus has been in Capricorn, the focus is on our long-term desires, our long-term goals when it comes to love and money, both things ruled by Venus. So we've been having, those Venus things on our mind for the past few weeks since Venus moved into Capricorn. And by the way, this is a very extended transit of Venus through Capricorn because it does go retrograde later this month until the end of January. So we do have a Venus retrograde coming up. When the moon forms this conjunction with Venus, it can almost help us prepare for the retrograde to come. But more so, we see a blending between our emotions, the moon, and our affection, our desire with Venus. We'll enjoy socializing a little bit more under this transit, especially if whatever setting we're in or whatever socializing we're doing is going to support those long-term goals and desires. This could also bring an opportunity for long-term romance. Even though the conjunction only lasts a couple hours, because both of these planets are in Capricorn, the sign of long-term goals, this could look like a conversation or even just feelings about a long-term romance, or somebody you meet today could have potential as a long-term friend or a long-term companion. Because remember, Venus doesn't just rule our romantic relationships, it also rules our friendships, our partnerships in business, really any sort of relationship we have with another human being, or I guess just being in general. So this could bring an opportunity for long-term romance, or it could bring an awareness about your long-term goals when it comes to money or love or friendship. A word of caution though, because Venus does rule our money, when it merges with the moon, we can almost get emotional satisfaction out of spending money or out of doing things with our money. And, it's the holiday season. We have this Capricorn moon trying to prepare us for what's to come. So we might be a little prone to overspending this afternoon or this early evening when the moon forms a conjunction with Venus, especially if we're looking for something to make us feel good. Spending money can do that. So just beware of spending too much when the moon meets up with Venus around 4:30 this afternoon Pacific time. And then by 8 p.m., we'll jump ahead a few more hours. The moon, this is that energy I was talking about when the moon activates this sextile between Mars and Pluto. So you can see right here, the moon, 25 degrees in Capricorn, Pluto, also 25 degrees in Capricorn. So the moon and Pluto are blending energies here, which can bring up some really intense or deep emotions. Pluto, the planet of shadow work, our deepest depths are merged with our emotional state. So we can have really deep emotions or transformative emotions come up. And then at the same time, they form this sextile to Mars in Scorpio. And Scorpio energy is very intense as well. This with Mars in Scorpio, we're talking about motivations coming from a place of depth, coming from that transformation that we've been going through. So when these three planets have this sort of mashup with one another, here's what we can expect. We can expect heightened emotions around that sextile between Mars and Pluto, wanting to take that action on our transformation. We'll really feel this energy pretty intensely by 8 p.m. We can, on the positive side, be more assertive about our feelings with Mars activating the moon, helping us be more assertive, helping us talk about our transformation or take action on our transformation. And that can be really helpful if you are communicating with others or having some emotional conversations. This can help us speak our truth more easily. Just beware of being too harsh with whatever action or communication you're taking around this, because, Mars and Scorpio can be a little bit, well, all these planets right now can be a little bit intense. So beware of letting your emotions control the narrative or get the best of you here. But with the moon in Capricorn, it can help us kind of detach from our emotions and take a more practical view. So this almost blending between our practical mind and our emotions and our transformation and action can help us slow down a little bit and take a more practical view of what the next steps are towards who we're becoming, towards that transformation. So I think you can also use this energy to your advantage by releasing those really deep feelings that are coming up as the moon merges with Pluto through movement, by using that Mars energy that wants us to move. And movement is a great action to take to activate that sextile. So all day today, really, not just when the moon connects with these two planets. If you're feeling intense emotions coming up, movement is your friend today. Doing some gentle yoga, going on a run, really any sort of movement, even dancing if you're not big into working out. Throw on your favorite song, even just one song, whatever deep emotions are coming up. Movement can really help move that energy through you and release and keep releasing after that solar eclipse, because it's likely that you had some big realizations or a big emotional release or just some intensity with this new moon in Sagittarius. It really felt like, for a lot of us, this point of transformation, of closing one door and opening another. So if you open that door and you're ready to start charging down the path, but you're having all these deep feelings come up or doubts, negativity with the moon in Capricorn, that can come up as well. Move it out. You don't have to have it all figured out right now. You don't have to have a 10-step plan, as the Capricorn moon might make you feel like you have to do. Move it out. Be present in the moment. Use your body, as Mars energy really likes us to do, to release deep emotions, to work through deep emotions, and to allow you to be the best version of yourself today. And, we talked about the moon forming a sextile to Neptune this afternoon and a conjunction to Venus. All of these energies really invite us to lean into creativity as an outlet as well. Neptune's a very creative energy. Venus rules the divine feminine, which definitely enhances our creativity. So I'm just really feeling like a dance party should be on the agenda today, or a run while you're listening to some music that really pumps you up, a yoga session from your favorite teacher, or with some music playing as well that really makes you feel good. Lean into your body today and let movement be your guide. So, a brief overview, and then we'll pull a card. Oh, actually, I do want to look ahead at the week as well. So let's do a brief overview of this. I'll give you some bullet points of the energy to come, and then we will pull a card. All right, so the main connection we have today is between Mars and Pluto, two of the most intense energies in our solar system. After Friday night's solar eclipse, we might feel the need to take action on whatever transformation we're experiencing. It might feel urgent for us to step into that change. You don't have to have it all figured out today. Use movement as your guide. Move through whatever energy is coming up for you. The moon is in Capricorn, allowing us to take a more practical view, but also making us feel like we need to focus on the long term. This is an energy of preparation. So the moon in Capricorn can help us be a little bit more practical, but it's forming some nice angles to Neptune and Venus, which softens the energy a little bit, allows us to be a little bit more imaginative, and allows us to be more affectionate towards other people. By 8 p.m. tonight, the moon activates that sextile between Pluto and Mars, and that can help us pump the brakes a little bit on that need to urgently change. So movement is your guide today. I said it once, I'll say it again. Move through whatever energy is coming up for you today, whatever deep emotions might be surfacing, whatever lingering releases need to happen from the solar eclipse. Movement can help them release from your body today. All right, let's take a look ahead at some major transits we have coming up this week now. So, today we have Mars sextile Pluto. Tomorrow, December 7th, we have a couple different energies playing out. So let me jump ahead here by, we'll say 12 hours on our chart. So December 7th, we have, first of all, the sun forming an opposition to Lilith, the dark moon. Here's Lilith over here. We don't talk about her too much, but over the weekend, actually, Mercury formed an opposition to Lilith. And you can think of Lilith as your inner bitch. You can look up the biblical reference to Lilith if you want, and that's where this energy sort of comes from. But Lilith is the farthest point away from Earth in the moon's orbit. So it's known as the dark moon, when the moon is the farthest from us. And when the sun forms this opposition to Lilith, it can kind of feel like we might not be able to fully assert ourselves or tap into that inner bitch. Or on the other hand, it could feel like we can't hold back from that inner bitch expressing itself. So that's the first transit we have going on for Tuesday. We also have a square between Neptune and Mercury. This can look like the need to express our ideals, to express our fantasies, really activating our communication as well as that imaginative energy or spiritual energy even. So you might feel the need to express your spirituality, to write about it. You might be thinking a lot about your spirituality or about, your fantasies, your ideals, things like that. Also happening tomorrow, we have 3 different transits, and we'll go more deeply into these tomorrow when we're back here live together. Mars is squaring off to Jupiter tomorrow. So we've been talking a ton about Mars lately, but Mars here in Scorpio squares off to Jupiter in Aquarius. And this can look like an abundance of energy for your Tuesday. All of these transits really look like a lot. So that movement I recommended for today, keep that going tomorrow with Mars squaring off to Jupiter. After Tuesday, the skies calm down a little bit. So we don't have any other major transits to talk about again until Saturday after Tuesday, which is really nice. However, Saturday is another jam-packed day. So we'll talk about that a little bit later in the week, but we have more activation between Neptune, the Sun, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Pluto. lots of different energies to talk about on Saturday. So we'll get a little bit more into that later in the week. Also want to give you a brief overview of what's happening with the moon this week. Right now, the moon is in Capricorn. We know that. On Tuesday, the moon moves into Aquarius, allowing us to zoom out a little bit, have more vision when it comes to our emotional state. This can still be a more detached energy emotionally. Capricorn and Aquarius tend to be more detached emotionally, but when the moon's in Aquarius, we'll enjoy being part of humanity, being part of the collective, exploring causes and issues we care about. So Tuesday and Wednesday, we have the moon in Aquarius. Thursday and Friday, the moon moves into Pisces, the last sign of the zodiac. So Thursday, Friday will look like a lot more sentimental days when it comes to our emotions. We might be a little bit sleepier on Thursday and Friday with the moon in Pisces, our subconscious being activated by the planet of dreams. Also, I know a lot of people have been having vivid dreams since Neptune went direct last week. I certainly have. I would say Thursday and Friday are going to be days, especially Thursday night and Friday night, when maybe just Thursday night even, but dreams could be really vivid. So pay attention to whatever comes through all week, but especially Thursday and Friday in your dreams. And let me know in the comments if you like this little look ahead of the week, if you want me to expand on it a little bit more, or if it's just nice to get a taste of the energy, and then we can break it down even more so as the week goes on. All right, that's a look at the energy of the day. Now let's go ahead and pull a card. So I'm going to pull from the Work Your Light deck today by Rebecca Campbell, one of my favorite decks. And we'll see what message we have. Hope everybody had a beautiful weekend, some nice, relaxing energy after the solar eclipse. And what do we need to know for the week ahead? Let's see. Share your voice. That's the card that came through. Share your voice. Come out of the cave. Persecution. Expression. Let's see what the guidebook has to say. You know, this could just be the message too with Mars sextile Pluto, wanting us to take action on our transformation, really feeling those changes coming through physically. You know, sharing what you've learned, sharing what that solar eclipse looked like for you, what changes you are wanting to make. Sometimes that can be all the action we need to really start working towards that path like we were talking about. It might feel like, okay, I got to get going on this transformation. I had this message come through or this realization, and now I really want to like take action on it. But sometimes even just sharing what's coming through can be action enough. Okay. Let's see what Rebecca Campbell has to say. Share your voice. Come out of the cave. Persecution. Expression. You're being called to share your voice, perhaps by speaking up in a relationship or through writing, speaking, singing, or some other form of creative expression. We each hold a truth deep within us that longs to be expressed. Sculpted for lifetimes, the voice of your soul is like no other. It carries with it wisdom that can only be gained through soul history and growth. By remembering, tapping into, and expressing unique tone, we not only heal ourselves, we also heal the planet at large. When you share your voice, you unlock something in the universe and call a missing piece of you home. Your individual voice is the most powerful sound current on the planet. If you've kept your soul's voice silenced or held back, chanting or singing could be truly life-changing for you. As we shed the layers of our personality and start letting our unique soul speak through us, we discover that we actually have a very clear message that longs to be shared. The more we speak it, the clearer it gets. There's never been a better time in history than right now to rise up, speak your truth, and share your soul's voice. If you feel fearful, know that you are not alone and that the world needs your unique tone in order to harmonize. As we each rise up and share our song, we make it easier for the next person to do the same. Express yourself, share your voice, speak to those who can hear you. Ooh, what a great card for everything we've been talking about today. And I mentioned that movement will be really helpful with all of the Mars activation between Pluto and Mars today. Dancing, exercise being helpful if those intense emotions come up. Something else that just came through with this card is that singing is a great emotional release as well. In fact, singing activates our vagus nerve and can physically help balance and regulate our nervous system. So if you are feeling those intense emotions come up today, or that you need to take action, or even just more aware of the transformation that's happening to you right now, my favorite thing to do if I'm feeling emotionally overwhelmed is to get in the car, crank up my favorite music, and sing at the top of my lungs in my own little bubble. That could be a great release as well today. And another way to take that next step in your transformation. Share your voice, even if it's just with yourself. Get comfortable releasing, allowing whatever emotions are coming up to move through you. And your voice can be a great way to move those emotions. So I hope that was helpful for you. I hope you take on the day, you share your voice, you assert your truth in a kind way today, and that you feel you're on your way in your transformation and heading in the direction of your highest self. I'm so grateful you joined me live here this morning. I hope you had a wonderful conversation in the chat. And I will be live again tomorrow morning on Tuesday. So I'll be able to talk with you more then. I can't wait to see you. I can't wait for you to meet the interview we have tomorrow on The Spiritual Journalist as well. We're talking all about cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, NFTs, the metaverse, all the things. It's going to be a really fun conversation. So if any of those things interest you, be sure to tune in tomorrow. And one last thing I will say, very excited about this. Some of our merch finally came in. So if you ordered some merchandise from my website, thespiritualjournalist.com, I just got my first shipment of sample products that I ordered. You should be getting yours too. And if you like this little mug, or you want some fun t-shirts or totes that say "Be the Light" or "Stay Curious," you can find them on thespiritualjournalist.com. Just click shop in the upper right-hand corner, or even easier, you can literally, where's my finger? You can literally scan this QR code in the corner, and links to the shop and today's transits will pop up as well. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for creating this community with me, for having a conversation, for supporting each other in the chat. I love you, and I will see you right back here tomorrow. Stay curious. Thank you so much for joining us and aligning with the energy of the universe today. If you enjoyed this morning's episode of Transits Today, you can join our live astrology discussion every weekday morning right here wherever you're watching. And head to thespiritualjournalist.com to read your daily astrology forecast and browse the Spiritual Shop. The most fun way to help keep these forecasts free and support more content like this is to buy yourself a little something on our website. But if you're feeling extra generous, you can also buy me a coffee to fuel future live streams. Just tap the link in the description or head to buymeacoffee.com and search The Spiritual Journalist. And speaking of, you can also tune in to The Spiritual Journalist, our weekly live interview where we ask our guests questions about everything from crystals and manifestation to mental health and the environment. Those conversations stream live right here wherever you're watching now every Tuesday. I'm so grateful you found us here, and I can't wait for our next conversation.